Hello and welcome to North March Revisited. Yes, or it says North, but it's Nordmarsh on the actual mod hub. So, yeah, new. I've gone for a start from scratch. Let's turn time down to 0.5 and show you. We have got equipment now. Following a comment from a viewer, I know what he meant when he was talking about the fact that obviously it's really kind when map makers do this, but the real start from scratch is that you get given this really tough start with a limited amount of stuff, and then you put your mark on it. Whereas when you get left a beautiful amount of kits, oh wow, that is a cracking price. 9 meter. Right, well that's gotta be got no matter what happens with everything else we do. Buy a baler. It's an interesting thing, really, because I have wanted to do poplars for a while. Not that we could do them from that. Oh, the map's got quite a few, yes, yeah, like millet and things like that. So that's interesting. Right, so we have got quite a lot of equipment. Some of this I would never keep. Some of it I would. Um, yeah, harvest of the lot. Why would you get rid of that? So you've sort of got to play. We're given a scenario. We're given a set of tools. Let me show you what we do and don't own on the map. Basically, we don't own anything. The real farm is here where the equipment is, which would cost us only 206. The price of land is expensive. What I mean is, from a start from scratch's perspective, not it's not expensive, not really. What have we got though? What could we do? We're not equipped for grass. We're not. We're equipped for standard farming, which is quite expensive to get into to make on any scale, especially at the field prices that we've got right now. You've got one crop all year long if you've got the ability to buy just one field, which let me just show you. Let's just choose oats and oat fields, that one there. Yeah, it is oats. It's a different colour than I'm used to seeing. It's 100,000 for that one field. Actually, that's not bad in comparison to that, which is 187. Well, it is quite a bit bigger. Yeah, it is not that much though. That's not a bad field. It is a bad field, but what I mean is it isn't a bad field for starting. You're also just behind the shop. Then you've got an even smaller field. Yeah, the one thing immediately hit me, if you're a start from scratcher, you'll know the drill. You really want a bit of land with a little tiny bit of extra. Say, no, that's not got that either. Yeah, these fields are very concentrated with a tiny bit of headland, and that's your lot. There's nowhere you've got a free bit of land that you could class as even a rudimentary farmyard, which means you'd have to buy a field as the farmyard, which that's actually not a bad one because it's quite a lousy field. So you'd like literally, in fact, it's probably ready to harvest. It is. So we could immediately do that, move there, grab that, and then we'd have to build the farmyard as we've harvested, as I have done on other Let's Plays. And if that is going to be the farmyard, which is not a bad idea, let's buy that now before the farmer harvests in these seconds that we're doing this. Yep. Right, so we have bought our bit of land. I would like to make this more challenging because the fact we have been given the equipment that we've been given, but I don't want to make this silly because hard is hard. It is, but I can do it. I've done an entire series where I've done this. So let's do a save as a baseline. So I'm going to have it on normal economy for better growth. I'm keeping everything on that makes this challenging. The dirt really does nothing. The fuel usage we're going to be very kind of put to normal, my standard settings basically. And this, we're going to do what I've long since considered. Slowed them down and half the price. Course plays the other one I used to always forget now. I very rarely do. Don't want that. Don't want them repairing anything. So let's save that again, and then we've got a baseline. So we're on normal economy rather than hard. We have still got the loan. That's what I was trying to say that we were going to do. We're going to repay the loan, which then does leave us in. Things are quite tight. Our farm is just a field, really, and we've got less than 200,000 left to do this. It is true, I have wanted to do these for a while, but if I do that, it would mean 2 years for those to actually come to fruition if I do those. We're not in a position where we can do that. Now that is something that I am interested in buying, and we will. We can't use it yet, but it's for the future. That's 8 to 15 meter. Yeah, it is, but I'm not. So we're gonna sell the bits and bobs that I'm not gonna, because thanks to the kindness of, we're gonna sell them where they are. We're not gonna faff around. Your time is important. I'm gonna swap out. We're gonna keep the forage wagon. It's not a bad thing. Front loader tools, I'll swap out. I'll keep the front loader though. We're gonna need everything else. The plough I would swap out. Power harrow, we are going to have bought something bigger. I think. Wow, it's amazing. That's already devalued to such a level that it's really awful. Subsoiler, we could sort of keep what we've got. Right, so next thing, I'm going to bring everybody down here. No, I'm not going to do it on camera, but you know how I'm going to do it. But yeah, so I'm going to see you when I've got the team right down here. See you shortly. Right, now then, I'm just going to check. I think this is the range where this literally can. Right, let's also switch zone markers on. That work? Very, very unusual for you not to get a repair points. Is it around the back? No, it's not. Oh, hang on, now the shop. No, it's the shop icon is staying there all the time. I have switched all mods on, so it looks to me like we haven't got a repair point. Or my mod's not working, or it's inside. Which, that's unusual, but not. Okay. I see it being in here, but you never know. Nope. It's not switching that off, but it does look like we've got collectibles. We have indeed the very 1000 ones, so there's no repair point in here, so it looks like we've got to buy one. Yeah, that is a bit strange actually. Nope. So we need to go miscellaneous straight away. And we'll buy ourselves a toolbox, which is not anything unusual to me. That's what I normally like to do. So we're going to buy my little red one. And we're going to go and see if we can upgrade this tractor, this varied tractor, to see if this can be the 246 horsepower that I think it can be, or whether it's a lower model that just is not capable of that. The carrot is up, it's enhanced, so that's is it 17 tons, something like that. And that used to have in the Omatana version. That yeah. So let's see, can we upgrade this? In which case we could use that later on. No, we don't want to grab that, and we want to just see, can we repair you too, and we will customize you. Are you the 246 for 47,500? Yes, you are. Fantastic. So we're in the running now for a tractor that's capable of even using that. Even if it's a little underpad, it will manage it. It will quite nicely. So we have a starting lineup. We haven't precision farming, but it has no impact on a crop that already. Yeah, so we need to be turning to the right over there. Field 6 is also. So let's get cracking. Put this on. Yeah, I'm going to go into a time lapse. I don't normally do this where I go to work straight away, but you know, like we will do. So let's stick that. header on and let's crack on. And we've got a little, we've got a starting lineup that can actually do this, and then we'll take it from there, because the farm is the yards. Yeah, the farm is the field, really. Start from scratch, you start small. That's the entire sort of proviso around it. I do love it. We've got some beautiful equipment, which is very unusual. Bought a beautiful 9-meter cedar. That's quite a rare place to be. That was sloppy workmanship, Mr. Smith. That was not your normal. No, was that is bad. It was. I completely concur. That was very, very naughty. Right, let's set this going, and then we'll bring some stuff on. But I am going to go into a time lapse. It's true. I'm going to say my words. I'm going to see you guys and gals on the other side. Ah, we have one of those. It could be a 9 o'clock go jobby. Let's just see, shall we? We seem to be stuck inside the store. I'm thinking it's going to be 9 o'clock. I hope so, because that wouldn't be the first map where it doesn't actually release you on the first day for some reason. But no, this one is programmed correctly. You can now escape. Oh, it's field 2 actually, sorry. Yeah, not 6. I was looking at 6, but it's field 2. Field 6 is likewise, though. Let's not run this lady over. She does drive for us quite a lot. Not that I was going to run her over if she didn't drive for me a lot. Yes, I'm not into running people over. Right, so then, how do we tackle that? The entrance is there. I'm going to call before that car decides that... I thought I saw a car. Oh, didn't see that car. Right, okay then. So I'm going to go into a time lapse. Yeah, I'm going to see you guys and gals on the other side. Right, yeah, I am coming out. It's true. I was just sort of thinking, what are people going to think now? I'd like to go something a little bit different, which is what I'd sort of showed, but I'm already caught by the Start from Scratch's biggest thing is space and cash. No, we could afford that by Death Pledge, but we'd also waste a lot of the straw, the one asset that we've actually got, which is the very thing that we need, as well as wood chips, which we can do because we have got trees around the edge of our thing. This is obviously you're trying to use what you've got, so that is 20 grand. I've never used it, but we could try it, and I'd like to do that. But it's large, really. Yeah, we've got no, we've only got what we've got, and this is the quandary that you've got and a start from scratch. I've got to make do and mend. So although I'd like to do that, what I'm going to do is a more realistic start where these are small, and even that has an impact on your game. Yeah, this is the straw to. Yeah, we can put it there now. It's actually recognizing that we're not too close to the tree. So this is just go as far as we can close to the tree. That's fantastic. So the dumpy bit is the bit over there. We're going to do a little bit of painting. We're going to have to revamp it. We're going to have to vamp. The old one was 20 grand, but it was too super. It's tripled the amount of straw to manure, which things don't do work like that in real life. And I'd like this to be as realistic as possible. So therefore, oh, some interesting. That's interesting. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit and make a little bit of a splash of that at the back. Yeah, now we know this is going to be the farmyard. I said that straight away. Cracked concrete or nice concrete. Let's go for a little bit of nice. Being as this is a new build and we've just had this built, it seems to be a little bit appropriate that we do that. Does not look new to me. It looks just different. Right, so let's put a little bit of a dash of forest ground just where the actual thing is, so I can see, which has gone in the totally wrong place. I often say that refraction. It's weird, but you can never work out what way it's going to go. So, right, so that's the dumpy bit. Stick that in there. Let's switch those off. Yeah, I could not figure out whether they were on or off or whatever. And this is going to be our first business. We're also going to need the Death Pledge one, and we're also going to need to get. Have we got a water tanker? Didn't see it in our bit of kit. No, we haven't. So we're going to need to buy one of those straight away. I am not going to break with tradition. Yeah, the TARDIS is. What do we do? We go for the SMP for a change. No, this is really good value and can stand you in good stead for a long time. So let's switch our first production on, which needs to produce manure. We are going to upgrade it straight away, probably to a level 3. So it's now cost us 34,000, something like that. It'll do 39, about 43 tons a month, which is not a lot. But obviously we're also limited by the amount of straw we've actually got. So we'll go and grab the water tanker. We need a tap fitted. Yeah, so basically, if you're gonna, we can really only afford the one field, maybe a push, but you've got to save your cash. If you're a good start from scratcher, you already it's a very financial start. It teaches you to be self-sufficient, to use what you've got, and that's why I like the start from scratch start. It is. Not that a new farmer's handed you on a plate. I often have used that choice of words, and that's not at all what I mean, really. It's not handed you on. There are still challenges from that start, depending on the map maker. There are some where they give you everything, and you've got your heart's desire. Neverland was one such map. If you want a nice where you've got lots of productions and everything's fantastic, go on Neverland, because it's like. Riverside was a bit like that. Missy B like was just over generous. where you've not really a need ever to buy anything better, because what you've got at the beginning is fantastic. You've got really good equipment. I do love the fact that just that the dove bits. It's quite amazing. Yeah, it's a nice touch by Jane Gaming. So, right, let's grab this. Yeah, I posted my last VUE Normandy episode this very evening. Yes, so yeah, that's my last European map. No, it's not now. I've got it's true. I had Pelenier as well. So yeah, still got Pelenier. No, Pelenier's finished too. No, thinking about it, I haven't posted my last one. Was yeah, I should be a bit more correct on what I say. Yeah, I've not posted the last Pelenier, but I have actually did the last recording a 2 or 3 days ago now. So yeah, in essence, I really haven't got a European map. But I'm not worried because we're so close to FS25. I am really trying to tidy up on the things that I've got going. I've got combined counters, which is big, and we're not making much headway because the sessions are monsters. But I really, yeah, as is my one, yeah, felt emotionally shattered today. Absolutely, I've not got it in me to do anything monstrous. So as I have done before, I thought, well, let's go and start right back at the beginning. Let's do a start from scratch. But at the very beginning, you've only got one field. If you can't manage one field, then get out of Farmer Simulator completely, because yeah, it is what it is. You should be able to manage that, and I concur totally. Yeah, so we'll have a look to see if we could afford, but 199,000 looks a lot. So obviously the first two productions, the other one by Despot is 8,500, so we've got enough cash for that too. This field is going to be the farmyard because it's awful. I don't know what the other fields are like in this area. We should have a look around, but this one can be the farmyard. It's a fair size as well, but we're probably going to have to use it though to begin with. We've sort of cast our lot in. As most farmers, I've got to centre my thing around the land that I've actually got. So, Mr. Headlands, for some reason I thought I'd set him in the right place, but or her, them, shall we say. Fantastic. Yeah, so normally I would try like this to sort of think, well, what few mods are there that I can actually make use of straight away to actually make a business from, which is why sometimes it's sort of a bit boring in so much as, well, there's only 4 or 5 mods I could probably turn into a business from what I've got right now. I mean, we could build a bakery, or we've not got animals so we can't do milk, or all of these type of things. Right, smashing. Obviously, yeah, again, the yield's going to be terrible, but again, there's no real worry about scanning the field in this because it's already done. All of the work was done by someone else. You're just harvesting, so there's no point in worrying. I used to scan the field, and I think, why are you scanning the field? There's no real need. You're not impacting the crop that's in the ground, so why are you doing it? And it's true. So it's obviously now the start from scratch is all about you. Yeah, it's true. I don't think I've ever seen anybody explain, because if you were new to the game, why would you want to do a start from scratch? It's really quite difficult, and I don't think there are many brand new players that would ever want to do a start from scratch. But it is a rewarding one. I don't know that. I think sometimes you probably. I got into the start from scratch mode, as in like where I like think, yeah, I want to do start from scratch because I realised how fantastic the start was. Whereas most people, if you watch content creators, it's nearly always new farmer starts. There are I can't recall anybody doing a start from scratch start ever. Mr. CLP in all of the episodes I've ever seen him do, obviously always reduces the game element, whereas I play from a game element side. I acknowledge it's a game, which again, most content creators don't ever play from that perspective. So that means I show my settings. I'm doing it from a different perspective, as though it is a game, because it is a game. But I do try to play realistically, but also I acknowledge the fact that it is a game. So if you are a player, I'm sort of like trying to say, well, what is the advantage to start from scratch? You build up to the farm that you get given, and again, I'm going to use those words, given on a plate, because in a way you are. You've had no impact on the creation of the farm that you've been given by the map maker. None at all. You didn't deserve it or earn it. You've been given sometimes a very expensive farm that would really take you years to build, and that's my point. We're playing the start where we do build. Now we've been given a huge leg up. No credit can I take for the fantastic set of equipment that we've been left by my granddad. You know, whatever story you're gonna conjure up to the reality why we've got all of this equipment. The family fell on a hard time, so we've had to sell the farm, and all we've got left is the equipment. That's a believable story, and that obviously that would do. That's more than adequate. That what we would need to sort of say, I believe. Right, okay, so they've finished. They haven't, but yeah, they think they have. Yeah, so right, let's just try. It's a bit fantastic. Oh, and of course you've done the foldy away trick. This is one of the nice harvesters though, where all you literally do is switch it on and lower your header. As I was saying this, it's true, there are more than one. Yeah, there's some harvesters where, is it one of the real, is it the Russell actually just literally press on, and it not only does it on, but it also lowers your header. And then there's other ones where you have to lower the header, switch it on before it will say, or otherwise it will say to you, you've not got to unfold your header. And it's really meaning you need to lower it, mate, and switch on. And it does vary. There are at least 3 or 4 different starts to different harvesters, which if you're a new player, it's a bit, in fact, if you're an old player like myself, it's a bit confusing. FS19, it was a little bit more simple. You just literally did, whereas FS22 did definitely change things somewhat. It's very complicated when the same piece of equipment from a different manufacturer does it in a different way, especially for a new player. But yeah, so why, again, I do think it is true. I don't think if you're a brand new player, you would really want to do the start from scratch. Unless the reality of the situation is that you really do want to play realistically, where you are. Yeah, I mean, because it produces challenges that you might not have the skills to deal with straight away. Because I do pride myself a little now that my farms, it's obviously cost is the limiting factor in a start from scratch. So my farms will never look as grand as the beautiful farms that would cost 500,000 to put the buildings down for, because I don't have 500,000. And if I did, would I spend it all on the farmyard buildings? Probably not. And that's why often I've gone through an entire Let's Play where I've just got 2 sheds, and that is the farm, but it wouldn't be like that. But again, it's the start from scratcher in you who's trying to do things in a realistic way. Now we've got starting equipment, but obviously the biggest thing you've got to do is, and the most important thing I personally think, is equipment. So that is one of the first things. Also, another good way of earning cash is animals. So therefore, you're going to want to, but they are expensive. So again, you'll probably have very limited choices if you want, again, the financial burden of being a start from scratcher, or being a farmer in general, is that you really want to choose a very reasonable enclosure for your animals. There aren't many of them. Yeah, I've just been on Terra Life Plus, and they've converted the base game ones, and their farming is just as expensive as Giants, really, because they've adapted base game ones 900 and something thousand for an enclosure, and I'm thinking, it's not that easy to find 900 grand. And then I need to put the animals in it. So it's, yeah, it is a little. Right, let's just grab the last of the straw. Although, No, no, let's finish it. Let's crack on and make this into a proper session. I very rarely do. Now let's have a look. That is true. We've now thrown a hat in. So this set here, all of these are likely to be the fields that we would go for. Now I do believe field 1 is also awful because yeah, it is terrible. That sort of makes a better, but we haven't got any grass equipment, which is why I thought, well, let's start with this. It makes more sense. Field 3 is how much? Oh, 70,000, and it's a really good bonus. So we've got field 2 that is awful, so therefore we could have that as a farmyard, and then it's in the middle of this set of fields, and that is then quite believable. So I don't particularly care if I sacrifice field 2 as the farmyard. Field 6 is also awful. That's more central, isn't it, really? We could afford that now. We'd still leave ourselves enough cash. Okay, we will. Let's do it. Right, so we've got a second field. I believe that is also, like, ready to harvest. So let's get that underway too. It's over the road, so we could sort of decide that that one's the better farm for us. Not this one, we shall see. Right, so let's do field 6 quickly. This should not take long to knock up a... So we do need to create a new folder 6. Create job, position, close generator, and let's set you going again. And save course, activate 6 meters. And let's set them going. Fantastic. At least we don't have to muck around with the settings. I don't know what it is actually. Oh, what are we actually? It is wheat. And what did we do? What was this? Oats. I thought it was, so that's not going to work. We've only got one trailer. So already we've got a quandary, a second one where we do need already to stick the silo down. It is true. I would say that this makes the better middle point where we are already. So I would say probably the silo right next door to that. I'm going to go for, again, cost. This is my favourite silo for a start from scratch starts. I like the Burnies as well, but the Omatana's got special abilities. That's a storage and things like that. It does all, but it can cause issues too. So you've got to like, but it's 5,000 for. I think actually this is a bit tongue in cheek. I agree definitely, but it is. Omatana made it. It's in the game and it is still very very reasonable. It's the cheapest option that you get, even cheaper than the French ones. But this one here, the Trailer Farm Buildings Pack. This is rather amazing. It is. So then let's stick that next to there like so. Should be. Now remember, this is going to be the farmyard, so I'm not worried about that. I'm taking the field. Right, so then let's grab that. Let's move that because we are going to need that trailer for the wheat across the road. So we've got some products. We can decide what we're going to do with this. Why has I got this? Oh, I've got the slowdown problem. Where you all of a sudden dawdle. Because it's not because it can't cope with it, it can. Yeah, so you sort of... It is a real good start for like getting your imagination and making you design. Even if it's going to be the most rudimentary farm, it's more about function over prettiness, which is probably one thing that annoys people about my farms, because I often talk about, yeah, I've ripped other people's farmyards to pieces and said I don't like the buildings and things like that, and people think, well, you've got little room to talk, yours are awful. They are, in a way, that is true, but it's functional, and it's not, you're not saying that I'm a better designer than all of these others. You're saying what the buildings I choose are going to be. Yeah, there's some designs that it does teach you about. Oh, hang on, that isn't true. We need to be taking this over there then. yeah, it does teach you to make the most of the space that you've got. That's one thing that Start From Scratch really does do straight away. Let's go straight down here. Where do those things end? I don't want to be going through the fence thingies. Right. Yeah, they're both full of weeds, so the yield is not brilliant. But then we had absolutely nothing. We've been given this on a plate by another farmer's efforts. So again, it's being truthful. That is all a definite thing. Right, let's grab some more. Let's finish this straw. I'll probably do the all the fields, the straw next session there. I'm just interested in making a start, and that's what we've got less, that 113,080. Now bear in mind that if we was on a normal start from scratch, I'd only probably have one tractor. I'd have either leased a harvester, or and we would be down by quite a bit of cash, probably 60, 70,000 by now if we'd have gone the let's lease a harvester for the first year route. And it'd have to be a cheap harvester, so you're limiting to probably a couple of models that are going to be really cheap to lease. So we're going to have small headers, and it's going to be a lot of work. That's the norm for any kind of farmer that's just starting. Is you've got to be frugal. You've got to learn to sort of, yeah. I know there are people. I do apologise to those who know all of this, but I'm just talking to those who would say, well, why should I do a start from scratch start? It is for the advanced player. So I suppose in some ways I'm not really talking to a new player, but then again, a new player may wish to play more realistically than a new farmer starts, and that I would definitely say is a start from scratch. It is building my farm. I've got the elements, and I mean, obviously we were very kindly given the equipment by the map maker, which I do appreciate, because it's put us ahead. Because if we were on a real start from scratch now, it is a shame in some ways that most of the map makers are doing this now, which is kind, but it does sort of then miss the element. But then again, I often, if I was going to be doing a true start from scratch, I'd probably give myself 6 months to yeah, because I'd have the struggle of like needing equipment straight away that I haven't got or can't afford. So the fact that means that we've been given a leg up, and that we are further forward than I would be if I was a real start from scratch, because I'd probably have a really cheap tractor, an old model that I could pick up from the barn find that I'd fix up, and we'd get ready to do this, and I'd probably have just that one tractor. There are plenty of cheap trailers, so again, yeah, 5,000 or 6,000, so we'd do it on a shoestring, and we could actually do that. Wow, Andy has done well. I think that's it. So yeah, so we'll grab the straw next time from that fields. Wow. I was forgetting wheat's a good little thing, isn't it, really? Right, so we need to be putting desk pledge down. We need our first business. We need to go get the water tanker. So I'd at least like to leave this where we've got everything going. Yeah, I mean, I say start from scratch. The farmyards are not going to be pretty because, again, you're wasting cash on making it look pretty. But there does come a time when your businesses start to kick in, even quite early on, if you pick the right businesses, where you can afford to make things look a bit prettier. So it's a make, do, and mend. What's a bit I've missed there? It is a make, do, and mend, which obviously a lot of people are always worried about nowadays, aesthetics and how things look pretty well. Then this is not really the start for you, because it's not going to be. This is giving you the stark reality of life, the financial things that you've got to make decisions that can make or break your farm. Right, so then we need the decimal, where I don't say that's going to go that side, or we could go there. Could really do with moving a few of these trees though, really. But I think it's true. I think we'll space that out. Also, quite close to that. Not that space for productions really matters. Which end am I going with this now? Ah, it was the far end. Can never work out any rhyme or reason on how these things work. Why one time you're at the other end and then you're at the other end and you got to go all the way down. Right, so Death's Pledge is a little further, I think. Oh, got some, yeah, some things from the map maker as well. Here we go. Let's put that. Yeah, we'll put it well on our field, I think. Just out the way a little. Also going to need a tap. So I'm going to stick that near the Death's Pledge. Or shall I put it near the... Yeah, I'll put it near the silo, I think, for a change. We will go for a well. It's more realistic, I think. Right, we're going to stick the zone markers on again, which I almost remembered. Not quite. Buildings, container, well. And yeah, it makes more. It's yeah. With the normally, if you're in the middle of like a farmyard, the fact that you can put a tap down really is quite. Oh, it does need to still be mode. Okay. Must be too close to the tree. Right, smashing. Right, let's go and get a sandy. No, he's still cracking on. Leave him trundling. We'll go and get our from the store, which is a stone throw away, but we can't actually get to it that way, so we've got to go. Also, as well, before the end of the day, get everything out. Yeah, I do love my fence, but I've got to say they're a bit like the class. Some of the models of the class, the indicators on this are awful. I do think they're like little tiny, you can hardly see them. They're just not. Whereas the John Deere, I think the one we've got, again, has got cracking indicators. I hope you're listening, fenders. I mean every word. We could take that. So we're not likely to use the tether at all. But you never know. Never say never. Actually, I'm probably going to sell this, but again, there's no sell point here. That's really shocked me. So few garages. Oh, hang on a minute. Wasn't open. I like it. Right, yeah, we're going to sell this. I'm going to go for the 10.5 metre if I'm going to buy one, not a subsoiler, which is sort of still... Okay, I would imagine we're supposed to be in the box. Yes, we do want to sell that vehicle, and we want to. We may as well. It's very kind. That was all I saw. Not that I'm saying all as in like, oh, I really wanted more. That's not what I mean. What I mean is that's all I could see. So we have got. Yeah, we have. Fantastic. At least we now know it was literally not open. I like it. Realism, an element of realism, which I really do appreciate, truthfully. So there's a fuel point there as well. So just can indeed. Excellent. So we, again, because of our location, we don't really need to worry like you normally would about. 1 second, sorry. About a fuel, because we're opposite the shop. I mean, that doesn't mean to say I won't get some barrels, because it's still more convenient to have it yourself. So, right. And this is a pain in the backside, though, that you've got to avoid people running them over. Otherwise, you look like you're a terror. So, get the corner swishers. So the one thing is we've got quite a bit of straw off the 2 fields. We could probably afford the field next door, field 3 as well, which likewise looks like it's a straw producing crop. It would cripple us, but I'm going to do it. I am, yeah, because I just think it's a good place. We're not going to do that this session because otherwise it's going to be a monster. It is, but sometimes I've said this as well, that you do have to sort of push yourself a little because the more you do things, the more you earn. But it's also you've got to make sure that you've got your base productions, or we've got them. We've got those two productions plus the tap for our first business that is going to earn us the fertilizer business. And it's a tiny little shed. It's only going to chug with the produce that we've got. So I should be able to get that in. Should, in a way, be able to fill at the same time, which is quite nice. Oh, needs to be unloaded. Why do you need to be unloaded, Andy? Okay, well, I don't understand why you can't see that on the edge of the field, but I won't question why. I think he did empty once though, so because this would be the worst field of wheat ever if it was only 2,850 litres. Even with all the weeds as bad as they are. So let's get these corner swishes, and then I think that's probably not a bad first session. So we've got the last field to harvest next time. And I've been more aggressive on this than I think I've ever been ever. Because I know, and that's the other thing as well. It's building up, especially in our productions or a part of Farming Simulator. If you were in base game and you were 80,000 per production, and then obviously we would only have one field right now, and we would be struggling for a couple of years to try to put some more of whatever we decided to go with, whether it was oil or grain or whatever. We would be struggling with one of those, and we'd have to stick to that because we wouldn't have enough cash to go into another business at that point. So we'd have to wait until that business, you'd paid for the business, you start to make profit, all of that type of stuff. Whereas we've gone for a very small, reasonable footprint, and we've already got a big business because of such a good mod by such a good modder. Which is something I have said quite a bit, which is it's picking your mods, and also not just the mods, because there are differences. It's like the grain cereal factory by Giants is awful, but then there are other ones that are really good, and some Giants factories are really good. The oil business, the sugar business, they're all valid businesses that actually are quite reasonable, whereas the cereal factory is the biggest white elephant that was ever made into a factory that you really don't want to saddle yourself with, because you will be losing cash, although it will appear that you're making cash. It will appear that you're making profit. That's ready for next session. Our third and final field, because we definitely cannot afford anything else, so we'll leave it. Actually, no, let's be kind. Yeah, it's very rare that I've had a 3-field start. Very rare. I can't remember the time that I've ever had this kind of start, and that's again field prices. It's weird because some of these are, but then they're small fields, I suppose, thinking about it. I suppose we could have bought one big field like 17, but then we want farmyards as well, so yeah, we can't do everything. Yes, right. And let's save that. Field 3. Activate 6 meters. Fantastic. We will start that next session. So, how well did we do? We need to be going over to the John Deere to see how well did we do on the wheat. That's 10 tons. So we got 10 odd tons of oats, and we've got 10 odd tons, or nearly 11 tons of wheat. So not bad. We've got options. We could, because we've got 2 grain crops, we could go into making breads, which is not a bad little business. It's not, won't make you rich, but it will, yeah, because obviously you lose a lot, especially over wheat, unless of course you choose your partner well and you get one of those that does a bit of pig food out of the waste wheat. So yes, we should leave it there. So 10 tons each of that. How do we do on the straw? that is churning over to manure. We have 64 tonnes. We're obviously going to have 2 more fields of straw. It's not a lot, of course it's not, but actually it would have been 65 tonnes because it's done a ton of manure already. So that needs to be switched on. It's a solid fertilizer for this. This is a bit of a cheeky one. It is. It's slightly bit more cheeky than I'd like it to be, but it's yeah, it is a good positive thing. We're actually 2020 and we're gaining 20 from somewhere. So it's a super thing of crystallizing manure that's a real good little earner. So yeah, a very good recipe. A little too good, but it's only just cheeky to the point where I think, yeah, well, I've seen a lot worse that are too cheeky and too silly that, yeah, have no real bearing on real life. So, which is why I did change the manure making mod from that one to this one. That's a lot more believable than tripling your output from something, because that just doesn't happen in real life normally, anyway. Yeah. So this is the end of the first session. Yeah, we're down to 46,413 euros. We have got our starting businesses, so I can breathe a sigh of relief because I know they're both good, and I know, again, through experience, I know how this chugs. This is the one good thing about the homebrewed is it's not a beast; it's a chugger. So it won't. It's only the fertilizer business itself that will do as well because it doesn't output too much. It'll still make us a lot of cash on normal economy, but it's still it's still a chugger. It won't like do hundreds of tons a month or anything silly like that. It's quite realistic amounts, which again I like. And so is this. Again, over a month it will chug out quite a bit, but it's not going to make us absolutely a fortune in itself. It needs a partner as well to do something with that manure, and then we've got that, and that will make us quite a lot of cash. So yeah, we've got the beginnings of a farmyard. I will be chopping some of these trees down to make it into a more believable one in time, but yeah, we don't need to do that all my life. It's gone into it's gone above it, that's all right. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, we shall see what we shall see. We've got one more field to harvest, and then we will be going through the winter. This is, yeah, it really is going to be quite interesting because obviously how much straw we get and how much oats and all the rest of it. We can't afford another business though. We need to get some income released from these 2 partners so we can then do something else. Like if we are going to, it's wheat again, right, another field of wheat. Probably, I'm trying to think, I would say with wheat, it probably would be the making of breads. And there is actually, that is true, there's a beautiful little bakery that's advertised and that not only bakes but also mills. So that's maybe the partner we choose. It's also not terribly expensive. I think we could actually do it right now. And it's small. Its output is small as well, which is realistic because it's a small building. So it's a chugger again. It's not going to make us rich. But if you're doing a harvest once a year, it's got a year to produce your bread. Although I probably would buy better equipment inside the bakery to make it a little bit more souped up, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching. Truly do hope you're going to stick with me on this journey, and I'm going to say goodbye for now.